another concept, and this is a concept that I emphasize a lot from the guard position, but it's very easy to explain it from standing. And I call this the concept of engagement. Really, really basic ideas, but it's something that a lot of people, a lot of intermediate and beginner guys don't apply. When I'm here with Andrew, if we're wrestling and we have any idea of what we're doing on the feet, it's very unlikely that you'll see either of us engage in like a random way, just like mangle each other together and then start wrestling afterwards. Like, it's unlikely that you'll see me just kind of start here and then, all right, now I work for the clinch I want, and then now I go for a takedown. It's almost irrational to go through it in that way. Good wrestlers, you'll see, are always fighting for their setup. They're always fighting to engage in a way where they have the takedowns that they're good at. Like, a wrestler who doesn't like using underhooks usually won't fight for them right away. A wrestler who hates the collar tie, or is very susceptible to takedowns from the collar tie, is unlikely to walk in and just go, boom, and set up the collar tie. Because it's irrational. It's not what he wants. It's not what sets up what's advantageous for him. So if a wrestler wants underhooks, if somebody's really good with that, maybe he'll kind of bait his hand, boom, and he'll fence in for underhooks. And then he'll start playing from here. A guy who likes the collar tie will find a way to get into it right off the bat, where he can work the takedowns that he's very good at from there. And the same thing with wrestlers who don't like to tie up. Guys who are more touch and go. Guys who are more touch and go aren't really going to be starting to tie up all Greco-Roman style and then breaking and then taking the guy down. They're going to stay at the range that they want. They're going to get the setups that they want, and they're going to make the shots that they want. And the same applies to the guard. So if I'm here with Andrew and he's in his guard, there's no reason, no, just start open. There's no reason for me to engage first and then start passing. A lot of people, especially in this position, and more commonly on the top and the bottom, although you do see it on the bottom sometimes, engage and then begin progressing their game. They're not engaging to progress their game. That's an important distinction. Oftentimes, people will drill their passes from the closed guard. So a lot of guys have thousands of reps of guard passes. Beginner guys, even some blue belts, have thousands of reps of guard passes from here. Break the closed guard, get their knee up, and then they're going to the pass that they want to go into. And what that translates into a lot of time is both in live rolling in class or even in tournaments, guys will tend to waddle their way into where they're used to start passing from. So guys will be here, and they'll come lumbering forward, and then they'll be like, okay, now I start passing. When in reality, me being here isn't necessarily advantageous at all. In fact, there's no reason I'd want to bring myself into a position where Andrew can close his guard. When Andrew closes his guard, there is nothing I can do besides break his guard. I'm not going to hit him with a domestic choke. I'm not going to be going for key locks unless I want my back taken or to get arm barred. So from here, I have nothing besides breaking. I've taken a back step. Now passes aren't even viable. I have to do an entirely different activity, something that I should never do. What I emphasize in my school is that if you end up in somebody's closed guard, you messed up. Unless you've rolled yourself for mount, there's a situation where it's very difficult to avoid. If you end up in someone's closed guard, you've lost that engagement game. Right now, Andrew has all the sweeps, he has all the submissions. He's the one who's going to get points or win this match, potentially, if we stay here for long enough. So I tend to always avoid this. So when I go to pass, I'm not looking to engage with Andrew in some random way and then go into the pass that I like to, the pass that I'm good at. My engagement is my pass. I engage into positions where I'm already winning, positions where the advantage is already mine. So if I'm here with Andrew, there's no way you're going to see me lumber kind of within the range of his legs and then be like, okay, now we start doing jiu-jitsu. I'm already doing it. The activity's beginning before like we even make contact. So if I'm here and I just kind of have some base contact with Andrew, I'm looking to go into a pass. If I want to pass him, again, it's not going to be engagement and then working towards what I want. They're one and the same. So when I start my pass, I like the over-under pass a lot. So I might be here, mess around Andrew's guard, I might kind of snap his head or something, and now I'll cut off to his side, boom. And now this is the position where I engage in. A second ago we weren't even touching one another, and now I'm here. I'm to a position where my ability to pass Andrew is far higher than his ability to sweep or submit me. It's very unlikely he's going to sweep or submit me here if I progress through this adequately. It's obvious that I have the advantage at that point. I have numerous sweeps that I can go right into, numerous passes that I can go right into. I can come through, boom, I can start to work from the belly, go into kind of anything that I'm really looking for from there. So my engagement is my pass. I'm already in a position where I have options and he has less options. I'm not doing the opposite. The same goes for any other kind of pass. If I like knee through passes a lot, I'm not going to lumber in here, the range of like his closed guard of his legs with my arms all googly, and then just go, all right, now I'll start knee through passing. Not at all. I'm going to begin already with my knee up, and I'll start stepping through. And now, this is where we begin our engagement. He might bring his knee across or something like this, but this is clearly better for me than this. Obviously a disadvantage engagement position compared to when we're already going through like this. Even if he does get his knee up, even if he's doing something else. So again, my engaging is my passing. I'm already in a position where my options look much better than his. And this very basic idea is applicable from the bottom as well. So if Andrew's in my guard, the same can be said from here. A lot of people feel a little bit too comfortable, and I used to be this way, a lot of people feel a little bit too comfortable about the opponent having a little bit of control on them from this position. So if I'm here and Andrew like grabs one of my ankles, a lot of guys will kind of like hang out here and they'll be like, oh, well, like my knees are still like pointed at him, so I can still like pull him into the guard, I can still work something from here. When in fact, just like I made the wrestling analogy before, you're unlikely to see guys just throw each other at themselves. If I'm here with Andrew and we're wrestling, he grabs a wrist, it's very unlikely that I'll just hang out with that. I'll be like, okay, he's controlling part of my body, I'm just going to let him keep doing that. Unless I'm using it for some setup like a duck under or something like that, I'm not going to let him have that for a second. I'm going to break it, or I'm going to avoid him even getting in the first place. So the same applies down here. If I'm with Andrew and he gets control of one of my ankles, I'm either going to immediately pluck it off and work to drag him, I'm going to break it free, and I'm going to only engage in ways that I like. If he starts coming into me and he has his knee up, so he starts coming into me and he's right here, I'm not liking my odds like this. I'm not looking to close the gap when I'm going to get a knee right in the sternum and I'm going to get past. He's already got the underhook. There's no reason for me to engage like this. So if I see Andrew coming in with his knee up, I'll either maybe I'll kick at his foot and I'll drag him down so now both knees are down and it's a better position for me to engage into. The same thing applies with anything. If he starts to pull down at my head, I'm not going to get into a range where he can start playing with my head and not do anything about it. Be like, oh, okay, and then just kind of take half guard and be passive. I'm not going to even let this happen. I'm not going to let him touch me or gain any control over me if I can help it. So if he reaches for the head, I'm either going to use it against him and work it for some kind of sweep, some kind of drag, or I'm just going to block it and I'm just not going to let it go down. So he tries to grab something, boom. It's not going down, it's not going down. And then I'll work until I can find a position that I want to engage from. Bam. And then I start my game from there. So that's a very, very basic concept, a very easy concept to apply, but something that a lot of people don't do. And it's especially from the top position when we talk about avoiding the closed guard and beginning your engagement halfway into a pass already.